Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 43 of Serendipity. This one's titled Bridal Party Set. When is it? Bakugo snapped, still glaring intently at Deku. Well, we don't exactly have a date yet, so I'll have to let you know, Deku replied shyly, averting his eyes as he mumbled his answer. Fine, call me nerd, Bakugo said before letting Deku's shirt go and stepping back, then spinning and stalking away with his hands in his pockets and his legs stomping weirdly out to the sides as he hunched over, back to the crowds that were still gathered out the front of the building. Why are you all still here? Move, all of you useless extras. Sorry about him, Deku said quickly to you. No need to apologise, I know how he is, you replied with a half-amused chuckle. Midoriya, is there anything I can do to help with preparations? Todoroki asked. I myself have been married for 3 years now, but I still remember what it's like to organise the wedding. Oh, that's very kind of you, Todoroki, Midoriya said with a beautiful smile. I will let you know if I need help. Yin and I are still yet to discuss venues and other things. He turned and smiled at you, reaching a hand out to pull you into his side. We wouldn't want to overwhelm you, though, Todoroki. You already have a little one on your hands, you said with a smile. Todoroki nodded. He's growing up very fast. He is. The last time I saw him, he was crawling, you said, snuggling into your man's side a little and dreaming about the day that he'd become a daddy. He is now walking, Todoroki replied. Clever boy, you gushed. We'll have to catch up with you and Gem soon. Todoroki nodded. If you need a ring bearer, Soshi would be the perfect candidate. Candidate? Sounds like a competition, you chuckled internally. Although, Bakugo has a little boy too now, so he'd also be in the running for ring bearer position. Oh, that's very kind of you, Todoroki. I'll discuss it with my fiancé, Deku said, looking bashfully down at you, his beautiful green eyes glinting with delight as his curly fringe swished a little. You grinned back at him, so overly in love with this man who was going to be a husband very soon. Yes, well, if you'll excuse us, Todoroki, I need to start planning with Yin, Deku said quickly. I'll ring you later? Of course, Todoroki said, nodding his part before turning and walking away. Deku took your hand and walked you back to his office, quickly closing and locking the door behind you before grabbing your waist and lifting your body up against his. Izu, you giggled. What do you do? Your question was halted by Deku's lips on yours, and you gave in to his beautifully soft kiss. Alone in his office, he held you in his strong arms and made out with you until you pulled back to catch your breath. What was that about? You asked with a smile. I'm just really happy that we're going to be married soon, he said softly, his gentle gaze shifting from your left eye to your right. Same, you replied just as softly. I couldn't help but think about you being a dad one day, just like Todoroki has little Soshi. And Bakugo has Chisuki, Deku said with a bashful look on his face. We're a little behind, but we'll have lots of children to make up for it, he added enthusiastically. How many? You asked suspiciously. 5. You hummed with a nervous chuckle. That's a lot. They'll all be really plus ultra, Deku replied with a delighted grin. R.I.P. But before that, I just want to have our wedding and a quiet honeymoon together, he said with a soft pink blush on his cheeks as he looked away shyly, allowing your body to slide down his front as he took one of his hands and tugged on one loose curl hanging over his eyes. Are you thinking naughty thoughts? You teased him playfully. You always get bashful when your mind is in the gutter. Deku's face flushed red and he coughed a few times, his throat contracting with the fear that he'd been caught out. You giggled and wrapped an arm around his waist, hugging him as best you could. It's okay. On the honeymoon, you won't need to think about it. You'll be able to do it. Your sexually charged comment brought Deku undone, and he stiffened in your arms, his poor little mind at war as it flickered between thoughts of palm trees swaying and the images of you riding him. It's okay, you chuckled when you saw the look on his face. Calm down, only a few more weeks to go. Deku nodded mechanically, and you had to reach up and kiss him on the cheek to get his attention back on you. Now, we need to organise the wedding venue. That night, you and Deku looked at a few places to hold the wedding and settled on a small seaside church that had a large vineyard out the back that you could host either an indoor wedding or outdoor wedding, as well as have the reception on site. We'll need to keep it all in one place, you said. Otherwise we'll have paparazzi all over us if they follow guests from wedding to reception. Good point, Deku replied. How many in the wedding party? Well, you wanted Todoroki and Bakugo. Is there anyone else you'd like? You asked. Deku thought for a moment. No, I think just the two will be fine. Oh, okay. That means I can have the receptionist and my friend from my old work, he said happily. It's good to have a smaller wedding party. What else do we need? Deku asked. Clothes? You chuckled. What colour are we going to go for the wedding? What if we match the colour with the colour of the gem in your engagement ring? Deku asked excitedly. It would tie in well if we had them matching. Then I could match it with white suits. Maybe white suits might not look good on Todoroki because of his hair being white on one side, and also Bakugo's hair is blonde, so it might be too light, but it would bring out his red eyes. I wonder if... Deku was lost in thought as he mulled over the clothing options for the wedding, and he looked on with amusement, surprised that he was so into this. I didn't think Izu would think so much into this, but I'm not complaining, he thought with an entertained smirk on your face. And there ends chapter 43. Stay tuned for chapter 44.